Oh, that was very aggressive. Hi everyone. I'm Robert Hanson. Today I'm going to be doing a little PowerPoint presentation on the basics of potato production. Uh, a little bit about my background. I'm getting a plant soil science major, a bachelor in that, with a concentration in crop science. I've done two internships. One I spent a summer as a crop consultant in Kansas, working with corn and milo and cotton, and another I was on a commercial potato farm for 2 years, kind of work as an agronomist there. Basically, what I'm planning on doing today is I'm just gonna discuss a little bit about potato production and kind of throw some knowledge bits that I've learned at Texas Tech. Stuff that I've learned in class and kind of tie that all together. So, like I said, I'm going to discuss about agronomic potato management. Uh, I'm going to give a basic potato herbicide plan. I'm going to talk a little bit about insect and disease management, and then I'm going to finish up talking about nutrient and water management. So we'll start out with our pre-emergent herbicides. If you all have taken Dr. Dotre's class in weed science, you might know some of these things. So we normally do our pre-emergent in two applications. Our first application is going to be Chateau or Flumiazoxin. Uh, we're going to wait a week after that first application, and then we're going to have another second application of Prowl, which is metolachlor, Tricor, which is metribuzin, and finally Prowl, which is pendimethalin. And we're going to incorporate all that in by, we're going to actually chemgate everything in there. So that water is going to help incorporate and create that nice, 2, 3 inch weed barrier that's going to hopefully give us mid-season control. Um, no weed barrier is going to be perfect. No pre-emerge is going to be perfect. So later control, I like to use Treflan to control sandbur, and I like to use Eptam for broadleaf control pre-emerge. So there's not a whole lot of broadleaf herbicides that you can use post-emerge for potatoes. So if you start seeing that you're going to have some escapes or some that are getting through your chemical barrier, then Eptam might be a good preventive measure to run. For our post-emergent herbicides, you like to use clethodim for grass weeds, which is that'd be like selective volunteer. And for broadleaves, like I said, there's not a whole lot going on that is super effective in potatoes, but I like to use Matrix or Rim Sulfuron. And I got on here 2 ounce rate, but you can run it all the way up to a little bit like a 5 ounce rate. And that is somewhat effective on pigweed. So now for our insect control, I'm going to talk about some of our insects. So first is going to be the potato psyllid. That is the main problem, the main pest that you got to worry about for potatoes. The reason that, especially for chip potatoes, is it causes zebra chip and carries this stuff called Liparibacter, and that actually gets into your like periderm, or I think is the name of that part of the potato. It creates like a little brown ring that when you fry your potato, just aesthetically doesn't look good. People don't want to eat that chip. It just kind of looks like a weird little chip. Another one is going to be leaf hoppers. They cause the leaf burn, and then you're also going to have aphids and thrips. They're just going to vector, potato leaf roll virus or tomato spotted wilt or PVY. Like all that stuff kind of goes through aphids and thrips. Um, so going back to potato psyllid a little bit, you can see there's eggs. They have a nymph stage and then an adult stage. And this is actually a picture I took of a nymph right there, a small nymph on the bottom side of a leaf. So whenever it comes to managing insects, very intense program that we do. We have a very low action threshold for insects and potatoes. Now, Dr. Longing would probably be pretty disappointed. I haven't done the math on it, on any of the insects and the chemicals that we use, but it's a very extremely low just because of how much yield potential potatoes have, and also just how much money you can make off there and how much inputs you're going to put in there. You don't want to risk having your crop have horrible quality because you didn't want to go out there and spray something. So a few of the chemicals that we use, some of the insecticides we use are going to be platinum, which is thiamethoxam. That is going to be, put in at planting. I think you can incorporate it early, like before emergence, but I'm not positive on that. Another one we're going to use is going to be Fulfill, which is pymetrozone. That's going to give you really good control on your nymphs, but you only get 2 applications of that a year, so use them wisely. Another one is going to be Movento, which is Spirit Tetramat. Again, that's for egg and nymph control, and you get 2 shots, so make them count. And finally, for our adult material, we have Reaper or Abamectin. There's a whole lot of other chemicals that you can use, but these are the main base ones just because they're friendly to your beneficial insects. Like, yeah, you could go out there and run like a neonic or an organophosphate over the potatoes, and that's just, that's you're gonna kill all your beneficials, and that's not ideal. You want to keep that. You want biology working for you, not against you. So maybe try to stick with these main 4. Now for disease management, we're going to talk about early blight. So I actually have a picture right here that I took. Early blight is going to have these kind of brown lesions, these small lesions with concentric rings in the middle of them. And you can also tell that because it will not cross these veination on the leaves. So you got your primary vein right there and your secondary vein right there. And it's normally not going to cross unless it's like a, way late lesion, far advanced lesion. Another one that you got to watch out for is the late blight. We don't have that as much in this region, but it actually was what caused the Irish potato famine. And you can tell what that is. It's got large, dark brown blotches, and it spreads really quick. Another one is going to be botrytis. That's mainly going to be in your lower canopy, and it'll look similar to an early blight lesion, but it won't be concentric. And it'll have a halo around the lesion because it's a necrophile. So it'll actually be eating that dead tissue. So it's going to have like a little necrotic ring around it. And then for the cotton people, y'all know what fusarium is. Plant's going to wilt. It's going to have that vascular bundle in there, and that's just going to be brown, and you're not going to be able to get anything flowing through there. Another one is black dot. That's going to be mainly brought in by like sand and wind and stuff like that. When it blows around, it's going to kind of spread, and it's going to start speckling with black dots on your stolon and roots. And so you got to watch out for that. So to management these diseases, these are, again, a couple of the basic ones we use. We use Echo, which is chlorothalonil, and that's protecting for early blight. You get 5 applications of that. You have Manzate or Mancozeb, which is also protectant. Same deal. We like to alternate those just so we're not using the same active ingredient back to back and try to prevent resistance. A-frame azoxystrobin is a protectant for black dot, kind of like what I was saying earlier. If you have a lot of high winds or stuff like that, you might want to run out some A-frame. Scala is pyrimethanol, and that's for botrytis. Agritin, I'm not even going to try to say that one. It's a very effective protectant on our early blight, and it's really cheap too, and you get a bunch of applications with it. Really cool product. And finally, we have Revistop, which is mandipropamid, and that's another premium fungicide that can help with early blight control. Finally, water and nutrient management. Potatoes require a lot of water and a lot of fertilizer. So your early season, for probably like your first like 60 days, 70 days, you're gonna want to keep your moisture above 90% in most cases. Anything lower than that, you open up for diseases, and you can kind of hurt yourself there in your yield. As potatoes can get bigger, when they get to about the size of like a key lime, something like that, you're going to start dropping down your moisture to about 75 to 80% in the soil. And anything lower than that, like I said, will kind of, you want to bulk, but you don't want to dry down and open it to scab and other sorts of issues that might happen with that. And then finally, like I said, nitrogen inputs are crazy high. I have on here 250 pounds, but that's being pretty conservative. You can run 350 pounds. You start running a lot of nitrogen out there. It's, keep one of those potato plants alive for a whole season and looking good is really tough. Yeah, it needs a lot of nitrogen. And, like always, you need to make sure you're watching your micros too. So zinc, copper, manganese, sulfur, I don't have on there. Stuff like that, you can kind of start seeing deficiencies in season that you just kind of want to make sure you monitor. And as far as phosphorus and potassium goes, I haven't seen issues with that. It's pretty normal, but I know that someone out there has probably had issues with that. But in conclusion, a potato crop requires a lot of scouting and management, and these are some of the ways that I do stuff and I've done and learned how to take care of a field. But there's no such thing as a perfect field, and everybody does stuff differently. So I'm not going to say that this is the only way that you can go out here and take care of your crop. There's a whole lot of different ways you can go about that. So all these pictures in this slideshow were taken by me. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or give me a call at the email and number right here. Thank you. I appreciate it.